Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Freezer Meal Day. I'm Tammy, if you haven't been around here before, and we do make some freezer meals for our freezer right there because I do work full-time, and when I do work, it is always at night, and try to make it as easy as possible because as much as I love the man after the last 20 years, the man still cannot cook. He's just not any good at it at all. So I try and make it as easy as possible. Have been doing it for years, but making full-blown lots of freezer meals in the freezer, that's still something that's relatively new for us, so it's gonna work well. Long day to go. Let's get this day started. And here's the baked beans and the pulled pork so far, so let's get to work. Okay, so I've got a quarter cup of molasses, a quarter cup of brown sugar. We are going to add a jar of tomato sauce. And then this is my spice blend. Let me show you what I have in here. There's our little spice blend. Now, normally for baked beans, it's basically salt, Worcester, dried mustard, but we're making barbecue baked beans, so I have chili powder, onion, garlic powder. There's some parsley in there just because I like it. And we're gonna dump all this in. Oh yeah, and the mustard, of course. So in it goes. It seems like a lot, but like I said, these are barbecue baked beans. This is the same flavors that I use for my barbecue sauce. Why not? So I went out to the storeroom to grab a couple of onions for the baked beans. Apparently I didn't let that one cure long enough, so. I think I might throw it back in a pot of dirt. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. There we go. So this is the sauce all done. Now this is basically the consistency it's going to be when it's done. So you stir in the beans and then you reserve the water and make sure all the beans are covered before we put this in the oven. There we go, guys. Water is in, beans are in. These are going to go in the oven. They're going to cook all day. So I cook them for about an hour at 350. Then the oven goes down to 250, and then that's it. Every now and then, of course, the little bit of reserved cooking liquid here, it may go in. Don't forget, these beans are not 100% cooked. They need to be covered in liquid. Alrighty. This is the biggest job of our freezer meals this trip. So this may seem like a weird way of cooking hamburger, but if you're gonna cook a lot of ground beef, oops, a little loud. Trust me, this is a fabulous way to do it. And you literally just spread it out. This has been one of the best cheats I've ever seen. Now, I've not done this in a long time, but that's okay. And it'll just, good thing that the stove is clean. There we go. There's the majority. So this is going to be for the tater tot casseroles and the shepherd's pie and the lasagna casserole. Now this does take a while to cook. So once this is done, everything else will be prepped up, so. Alrighty. I'm gonna finish tidying this up and we'll get it in the oven. Okay, the other thing that needs to get in the oven are these guys. These are 3 rather large chicken breasts. Now these are bone on, which is exactly what I wanted, because the bones will go in the stock pot for chicken broth later. Let me go wash up real fast. There we go, all clean. Now these are going in with nothing on them. There won't be any sauce. No salt or pepper, no anything, because these will be taken off and then they will be cut into pieces for our chicken parm and maybe some sweet and sour chicken today. I haven't decided yet. Alrighty, part one of prep done. Time to let them cook. So I've got some of our stuff laid out already. While we're waiting for the pasta to cook and the meats to cook, I'm going to actually get all the topping done. So that way we don't have to worry about it. So I do put the same topping on the tater tot casserole, the lasagna casserole, and the chicken parm, just so you know. Now I do have the wrong breadcrumbs. These are panko, but that's okay because panko just makes it just that much crunchier. It's ridiculously easy. So that is literally about a cup of panko. Prods. I'm going to say about 2 tablespoons of that marinara blend that you guys have seen me use before. So when I said this is one of the easiest ways to cook lots of ground beef at once, that's exactly what I meant. Now, one of these things is your best tool when you're doing this kind of stuff. So I'm just going to break this up without ripping the tin foil and get this back in the oven and let it finish up. Technically, it's cooked already, but I want a little bit more of that browning on it, and then we're done. Well, then we're done this part anyway. Hamburger is done. The chicken, it just came out of the oven, so these have to get cold. Now my extra lean ground beef and my zucchini is still thawing out, so the meatballs will be the last thing I make today. So now it's off to the store to get the milk that we need and the cottage cheese that I forgot. And then we will come back and get the potatoes cooked and get all this stuff started. All right, so I took advantage of a grocery store deal. Now, normally when I make lasagna in like a tray, we usually always put spinach in it. Mostly because, you know, I want the extra iron and things. Now this is just one of those last day for sale kind of packages of spinach. So I am going to put this in our lasagna casseroles instead of actually veggies like I have been lately. So here's our first 2 bags, guys. Freezer meals on the way. So I'm gonna split half and half, give or take. There we go. These few leaves up here are the ones that are going into the compost. Spinach. And now we have our cottage cheese. Now I buy the 2% cottage cheese for the extra fat because I personally don't like that no fat and low fat cottage cheese. I kind of don't like the flavor. All right, now each of these will get 1/3 of a cup of cottage cheese. See, just like that. Ta-da! And yeah, you just put it right in the bags here, guys. Literally, you just put it right in the bag. I'm gonna put a little bit more because I think I have a little bit more in these than I thought. There we go. All right, we'll get this out of the way. And now for the ground beef. I know it looks a little weird, doesn't it? So the hamburger will work out to be about a cup in each of these. So, all right. Let's get a cup of hamburger into each of these bags. There we go. So this is why we cool it down, because it's a little bit easier to put these together. All right, last thing is, I did not make a red sauce. I have these jars here, this Italian sausage, pepper, and onion that need to get used up. So we're gonna put about a half of one of these in each one of these bags. Just a moment while I bang my lid. lasagna casserole. So what'll happen is they will get one of these, and we're also gonna add a bag of mozzarella cheese to sprinkle on the top. Alrighty, it is on to tater tot casserole. So, me and my can opener are gonna have a fight. There we go. Tater tot casserole is pretty easy. 2 cans evaporated milk. And I have discovered that my casserole is almost the exact same casserole that Freezer Meals 101 makes. So when I link the page, take a look and see if you like hers as well. So, alrighty, so 2 cans of evaporated milk. Now I'll be adding a little bit of water to it too if I need it. We're gonna be making 4 bags of tater tot casserole. So basically it works out to be a half a can of soup and a half a can of milk for each one. Alrighty, and mushroom soup. Fred does not like mushroom soup, but when you make things like this, Fred does not mind the mushroom soup. So let's get this mixed up. Tater tots. So these guys here, it's gonna be about a half a bag in each, so this is where it gets tricky. Alrighty. And last thing are just straight up mixed veggies. I'm gonna cut this bag because, you know, apparently me and opening bags is not working. I'm gonna use all my measuring cups today. I want to use the whole bag, so we're gonna do half a cup in every bag first, and then we'll see what's left. Alrighty guys, and now a cup of hamburger in every single one. I put parsley, garlic powder, and onion powder. Now the powdery ones, not the stuff that we normally use. So we're going to start with a cup in all of them. I should have enough to do a cup and a half in all 4 bags. All right, same thing with these guys. Now the meat is cool. The frozen veggies and the tater tots are in there. And that's it. Mixy, mixy. These ones are a little harder to mix, but don't worry about it. Here. So these guys will also get one of our little breadcrumb bags, like that. But they're also going to get a bag with cheddar cheese. So the cheddar chicken parmesan is ridiculously easy. Normally you would just, now it's just the pair of us, of course, so we don't use a lot of chicken. If I was making straight up chicken parmesan, I'd be pounding the chicken, breading it, all the fun stuff. But in our case, we're kind of making like a cheddar chicken parmesan casserole. And as you already know, the pasta's already cooked. Just kind of make it easier for when Freddie's home and he's the one making dinner. And that's, this is the easiest recipe in the world. Now this time I'm using tomato basil, same thing. I have jars that need to get used up. So half a jar in each. And literally guys, that's it. Just made a mess. Let me get this out of the way real fast. Yeah, that's it. See? Pasta, chicken, sauce. The easiest meal I have ever made. A little bit steamy, but it is officially sauce making time. So I've got 5 cups of water in my little pot here. And we're doing, like you said, we're also cleaning out some pantry. So we've got some onion soup mix. And this is actually a brown gravy mix. And I'm putting them in cold water. Now the reason why is because we're kind of going to do this the same way we do the sweet and sour sauce. So we've got the cold water and we have the flour. Okay guys, I am going to get this stirred up and then we will let everything cool down, and we will finish off our chicken and shepherd's pie, and then I just have meatballs to make. It is meatball time. Okay, so there's the chicken. So I'm gonna put that in this bowl just to get it off, get this cutting board out of the way. Alrighty, so what I've got is some frozen yellow and orange peppers. So I'm gonna measure these ones again. Get over here, there we go. I know Fred's not a pepper person, but I want peppers in my sweet and sour chicken because that's how I like it. So we got a half a cup of peppers in each bag, and then I'll separate the chicken into all 3 bags. Now these will sit in the fridge until the sauce is ready and cooled, you know, keep it all safe. And then they will also go in the freezer. This is turning out to look like a fabulous month of meals, guys. I'm really happy. So, alrighty. 2 scoops into each one of these. It's not, I mean, for a lot of people, you're thinking, wow, that's not a lot of chicken, but we are trying to kind of go more towards a little more meatless when it comes to a lot of our meals. So the way around that is a little less chicken, a little more flavor. Well guys, the sweet and sour sauce is ready to go in with the chicken. Now the sauce itself is still warm. I just want to get these in the fridge and cooling so we can get them in the freezer. You're probably wondering why I am not using trays for everything again. Mostly because right now the trays are starting to get a little bit hard to find, which is a little bit annoying, but you know, hey, it happens. Alrighty, there we go. Sweet and sour chicken. These will get served with rice when it's time to eat, and some sort of green veggie. Who knows? You hear the dishwasher going in the background. This is it. This is the last meal that's going in the freezer. So these are our meatballs. I have 3 bags with 4 meatballs and 1 bag with 5 meatballs. And I am officially have no clean measuring cups to make this tidier and easier. So 1 spoon at a time it is. Now the sauce is still warm. These will go in the freezer, in the fridge to cool before we get them in the freezer. But man, does this ever smell good. All right, let's get this job done. Well, guys, that was a day. So I'm all done. It's all ready. Finally. Had a shower, because trust me, I needed it. Now the last thing I've got is this tray right here. See? So what we've got in here are the 4 bags of mozzarella, the four bags of cheddar. Now the cheddar also has some of the powdered parm, you know, the stuff in the shaker. I know people that call it fake parm, whatever, but it's real cheese. But I like that fine little tiny bit of Parmesan on top of the tater tot casserole. So that's what that is. And a little bit of marinara spice because I like it. Like I said, we have the 4 mozzarella and we have the 8 Parmesan breadcrumb marinara mix crumbly top. So let's show you. Oh yeah. And we have our list. Let me show you the list. Now I was doing this before in a book and this, it's right in my face. So you'll see, this is what we did. This is what we had left. So we had 2 lasagna tray bakes and 1 sweet and sour with rice left. They need to be used first before I use any of the other lasagnas or sweet and sour meatballs. My reminder, mark off when we used, but that's what these are for. So literally I just X them out as I use them. So I have 4 tater tot casseroles, use a cheddar shred and a breadcrumb. 2 lasagna casseroles, 2 parm. What I also have are 3 pulled pork, 4 baked beans, and 4 shepherd's pie. And then our last, sweet and sour chicken and sweet and sour meatballs. And remind myself, cook rice. I kind of thought it would be a little easier not to put the rice in the freezer because I'm still having a hard time when it comes to organization in this freezer. So let me show you what it looks like. And I'll show you our freezer meals that we just finished making. So here we go, guys. These are the shepherd's pies. Now the ones that we need to use are in the back. I'm kind of using them as support. These are our 4 baked beans that I showed you at the beginning of the video. These are our 3 sweet and sour chicken, and these are the last 2 bags of sweet and sour sauce. It's not gonna go to waste, that's for sure. And look at that, don't they look beautiful? There's our 3 meals of pulled pork, 2 chicken parm casseroles, 2 lasagna casseroles, and 4 tater tot casseroles. This is the last of the gravy, so there's 1 for every one of the shepherd's pie. And some leftover bolognese. Yeah, so once the gravy's frozen and I can get it out of the way, then I'm gonna go in and put that tray right on top of the blueberries, and then once they're on the blueberries, I'm good to go. 2 weeks worth of menus. Actually, I think I made more than 2 weeks. How many meals do we have? 4, 6, 8, 12, 15, 18, 19, 22. Wow, I've got almost a month of meals in there. So I made more than I thought. That's okay. I'll take cheater nights. So normally the way it works around here is, oh, you can see my messy greenhouse. That's okay. So the way it normally works is the days that I'm not working, I cook. Like today, we have the leftover potatoes, a little bit of that gravy for me for my potatoes. We're gonna bake a couple of pork chops and we're gonna roast some cauliflower. Put some Parmesan cheese and garlic on the cauliflower. I think it'll taste good. But it looks like with those casseroles, I might cheat on a few days I have to work. Now, normally today I'm working and I'd have tomorrow and the next day off, but thanks, Fiona. I did a shift swap previous to Fiona with someone who needed the day off on Sunday. So
The next 2 nights, I am doing a couple of little tiny short shifts, so a couple of those will get used. We'll probably do one of those tray lasagna bakes just to get it out of the way. So, but that's all she wrote, guys. It's been a busy day, a very busy day. I am seriously impressed with the amount of freezer meals we got in that freezer. So I'm going to link the Freezer Meals 101 page down below. And I still can't get over the fact that that tater tot casserole I used to make for potlucks and things is pretty much exactly what she does, which is fabulous. I think that's great. Things like my shepherd's pie, stuff like that. You make shepherd's pie however you want. If you like tomato-based shepherd's pie, which sometimes I do, make tomato-based shepherd's pie. If you want gravy-based, make gravy. If you're gonna go the traditional route and have lamb, do lamb. I make shepherd's pie with what I have. Anyway, that's it for today. This chick's tired. I'm gonna go and make supper. I'm gonna make some green tea. And it's gonna be a relaxed night. So go ahead, hit like, hit subscribe. Come along with us again as we do our Simpler Life on PEI. Until next time, bye for now.